Hello fam, we are here. We are here with our sweet girl, Lolonyo. I know that was the first question I got from everyone was, we love her name, but how the heck do you say it? Hello, hello, hello. If you are hopping on, say what's up.
What up, though?
Yes. I know everybody has been asking all the questions and we kind of went a little, what's the word? MIA.
Yeah.
I guess that's not a word, it's an abbreviation.
Incognito.
Yes, for a little bit because obviously we had our hands full.
With this bundle of joy.
Yes.
I also just want to say that she's perfect for our lifestyle and what we do because we're doing a live video and we're loud as hell right now and
Yep.
she's sleeping peacefully.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
She's a little soldier.
Yes. One of the biggest things I said to him, thank you guys. Lindsay said the way he looks at her. I know. I ain't getting no kisses anymore.
Cat. That's all cat.
Yeah, it is.
She knows I give her all the kisses.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to start probably just with, I'm just going to give a quick overview of our birth and then go into all of the questions that y'all commented on my story yesterday because I know there was quite a few, but also if you have any questions throughout this, you can absolutely ask. We are just excited to share our story. One thing I did want to start out with is, this is our experience, and by no means, I think with pregnancy and labor and motherhood in general, there can be just, in the society we live in is so wild, but there's just so much like judgment and everything. And I just wanted to start out by saying that this is our experience. This is my story with labor. And if you're feeling any kind of way, I please ask you to protect your own peace. And if something triggers you in a way, please just hop off. I think that's, as adults, it's our job to recognize those things about ourselves. So I just wanted to start with that because I know labor and all of the things can be, just a touchy subject in general. So, but we're really excited to share our experience because it was beautiful and incredible and the best thing that has ever happened to us. So hello, and like I said, if you have any questions along the way, just make sure you comment them, and if we don't answer it, comment again, so in case we miss it. But I want to start out with, the first thing that people were saying was, okay, that seemed like such a fast labor, or when did everything happen? Because I was on my stories pretty much all day Thursday. I had worked out, I had, talked with y'all, and then just kind of went away Thursday night. And the thing is, I was actually having contractions Wednesday and Thursday. And then when I woke up Thursday morning, I was having pretty consistent contractions. They just weren't super strong yet. So I had called into my birthing center because they always want to know, when your contractions get to a certain level or a certain time period apart. So their rule is 4 minutes apart, 1 minute for each contraction, and it lasts for at least an hour before they want you to come in. Hi guys. But they were pretty consistent. Like I said, they were at that 4 minute mark, but they were not strong yet. So when I called, she basically said, go about your day, try to ignore them, don't count them anymore. Just go about your day and do your best to focus on what you would normally do in a day. And once they intensify, then give us a call and we'll go from there. So I did, that's exactly what I did. I woke up, I called my mom. I got a bunch of work done that morning on Thursday morning. I worked out. I showed y'all that I actually did. It was like I went to YouTube and looked up labor inducing workouts because I knew it was coming. And I shared that workout. So if any of you pregnant mamas are on here and at that, 39 week mark or 40, or if you're past due, I highly suggest doing that. I did that workout twice that day, so it's just a little piece of my story. But so I did that workout. We went about the day, ate some food, and then it got to nighttime.
Yeah, it was like late evening.
Yeah, I would say probably 6:30 or so. I called into the birthing center again because I said my contractions were 4 minutes apart for a minute for lasting an hour. And when I called, I actually had a contraction while she was on the phone with us. And she said, you know, later after we had talked through, she had asked me a couple of questions. She said, you know, have you had any contractions since we've been on the call? And I said, yes. And she said, okay, well, since you were able to talk through it, that means we're not quite at the point where I want you to come in yet. I'm like, all right. So I basically have to get to the point where I can no longer talk through a contraction in order for us to go in. So that was kind of the deal. So what I did is she recommended eating, resting, taking a bath or a shower. So I went in, took a nice long bath. I think we had another meal maybe.
Yeah.
Had another meal, and then I talked with my best friend on the phone. We FaceTimed for a while, and by the end of that FaceTime, I was at the point where I no longer could talk through a contraction. So I came out here, and Jordy was on the phone with his best friend, and I said, all right, you know, I think you should let him know that he's probably gonna get a little niece tonight. So we packed everything up, called the birthing center, and
by this time I spoke to them on the phone because Mad was battling the contractions pretty consistently. But yeah, luckily we had already been pretty prepared. We had all of our bags packed. They were by the door. It was really just getting some little essentials that we might need, and then out the door we went. And thankfully we went earlier, right when she was kind of feeling it, or an early time, because for some reason traffic in Austin this day.
We had just driven up there on Tuesday, so one question we just got is how far do we live from the birthing center? So it's about 35 minutes from us. So we're kind of outside the city, and our birthing center was 35 minutes or so. But on this night when we were driving up there, of course he drove because I was in pain. And it took us, we had just driven up there on Tuesday. It's Thursday night, and there is so much construction that was not there on Tuesday that took us a completely different way. We had no idea where we were.
So we were doing circles, and she's having contractions and laughing at the same time. Because I'm
literally.
You know me, I'm the pop, so I'm like, yo, what the heck? I'm trying to get here right on time, and it was just taking us loops, but she was making the best out of it.
It's all good, babe. We're gonna get there, I promise.
Slow and steady. I wasn't rushing or anything. It was just dang, this is detouring us crazy.
Yep.
But
it was good though. We had left, like I said, it was probably around 10:30 or 10, somewhere in there.
10, yeah.
I think we got there at 10:30.
It took us we got there at 11.
Oh.
So we left at about 10:15, 10-ish, and it took us almost 45 minutes, I would say, to get there, when usually it's 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, see, I, the whole time, I had no concept
She was in and out.
of time.
I
had no idea what time anything was. So when people were asking, I'm like, actually, I don't even know how long the labor was because I was not focused on what time it was at that point. So, but yeah, once we got there, my midwife, we had one midwife, and it's kind of cool because at our birthing center, it's a pretty small place, and there's 3 different rooms. We were the only, family that was in labor that night, so I got to choose which room that we wanted. And it was actually, I had already known from when we first did our tour at the birthing center. We actually went and sat in this room and did our little, where they give a little overview of how everything works, and it's beautiful. I will have to share some pictures from it. Every room is different there, so there's 3 different rooms, and they have completely different vibes. I don't even know what the first room was, but I know the last one was kind of gray, homey, a little bit more modern, and the one that we were in was kind of like a blue room, antique-y, like super antique chairs. The tub was blue tile. It looks like a mermaid, and that's the one that I wanted to be in. So I was really excited, that I got to be that, because the whole entire pregnancy, visualizing and doing my meditations and everything, that was the room that I envisioned giving birth in. So it was just cool to have that actually manifest.
And what's awesome about that also is, because you were in and out, I don't expect you to really remember, but I was taking a lot of pictures and documenting while supporting, but I was
in the
beginning, so I took a lot of pictures that you'll get to see the early stages of her labor and kind of her just sitting, and like I have pictures of you on the birthing ball and like sitting in the tub and stuff like that. So it's like you'll be able to have all those memories still.
I'm very thankful. So I'm just gonna answer one question that we got, because it kind of ties into this. One question that we got was, did we have a doula? So the answer is yes, kind of. Yes, we had a doula.
No, we had a doula.
She was awesome. But she was not actually present with us. So yes, I will definitely let you know, Liv. So our doula was not present with us. So we had a couple of meetings. I had shared this in my stories the past couple of weeks. We had a couple of meetings over FaceTime. Got to know her, she got to know us, and what our ideal like birthing plan and everything was. And sadly, I think it was the day before I went into labor, she texted me and was like, hey, I'm actually not feeling well, not sure whether it's just my allergies or whether it is actually like COVID or something, along those lines. But I have a backup doula if you'd like to do that. And I personally wanted her, so I just asked her if she was okay with just doing over FaceTime throughout the labor, and she was. So we FaceTimed her a couple of times, probably 3 or 4 times throughout the labor.
And she was great.
She was amazing.
Of course, she didn't go to sleep. She was like, I'm
all
not
night.
Going to
she was
sleep.
Up all night
She's
with
like,
us.
I'll be up the whole night until that baby comes. So shout out to Latoya.
Yeah, for real. She was incredible, and I will also share the resources. I know a lot of you are just all over the country, but if you are in Austin, really awesome resource that we used. Actually, it was a totally free experience to have a doula, because they're really there. I gotta look up the name of it. I forget the specific name of it, but basically it's a program in Austin that wants to just give mothers support during their labor, and so they offer doulas, and it was just really cool to have that experience, because it is something that I had wanted but wasn't sure, with all of the insurance and crazy things out there. It was just really cool to be able to have that. I think it's called Gals is the name. I'll share it later. But anyway, progressing. So once we got there, my main midwife was there. So I had my one midwife, and then she had a bunch of like midwife assistants that came in kind of later throughout the labor. And my main midwife, she did a check as soon as I got there to just see, how far along I was, and I was 3 to 4 centimeters. Yeah, so earlier in the week on Tuesday, when I had went for my just normal 39-week appointment, I was 1 to 2 centimeters, and about 80% effaced for all of you moms or pregnant moms. So I was getting closer, but a lot of times, that 1 to 2 centimeter, or actually like 1 to 3 centimeter range, you can actually stay within that range for a couple of weeks sometimes. So it's kind of hard to tell whether or not, you would give labor soon, even if they told you you were a couple centimeters. But I had reached the 3 to 4 centimeter point once we had arrived there. And once we arrived, my contractions were picking up a lot. Picking up a lot. They were just, sometimes I wasn't even really getting a break in between them. And it was just intensifying, I guess, is the best word I can use. Mm-hmm. So all throughout this, I will say it was one of the main questions I think we got is just, what was the experience at the birthing center? Because it is very different from the hospital, to be honest. it was just me and Jordy in the room for, I would say, 90% of the entire labor. My midwives would come in and out to check in, probably about like once an hour, or if I needed them, I had a little button to press, but they really were just there for extra support and to make sure things were progressing the way they were supposed to. But really, it was just Jordy and I working through every single contraction. And it was incredible. I think it was the most, like, the best bonding type experience.
Absolutely.
And like just to see each other in that mode of just ultimate support was really, really incredible. So
yeah,
that was
from my perspective, it's just like for all the fellas out there that have a woman that went through pregnancy for them and gave them, you know, a beautiful life, a child. Like when you watch especially with Mad's situation, and again, this isn't anything to anybody else who went a different route or anything like that, but Mad being, am I talking too loud? Mad being or choosing to go the natural route and not have epidural and not have any medicine.
Just no medication.
No medication, anything like that. She was getting 100% of that pain. Like 100% of the pain for this beautiful angel that we have. And for me to be there the whole time and support and watching her and just watching her battle and just fight through all of that, it was like, you talk about power, you really start to understand, like,
women are the ultimate beings. Ultimate
she's
everything.
She sleeps, so I can say it. Men ain't shit. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. So like, it just gives you an ultimate respect for her, and you just can't, like, I just think to myself all the time, like, she gave me the best gift I'll ever receive until the next baby comes. So
Yeah.
but like, still, it's like, and she went through so much pain for it, so it's just like the ultimate respect, the ultimate love. And that's why I was running on E, but I still felt like I had a full tank, because it was just like I knew I had to be that support for her. And also, we've been praying and manifesting for this little thing right here.
For like 3 years.
So she's here, so
yes. So progressing throughout the labor, I will share, this was another question I got, and something I think I had shared throughout my stories and just like in preparation for labor, was that I really dreamed of having a water birth, and that's one of the main reasons that I chose to be at the birthing center. So for as long as I can remember, I don't know, maybe I was like a really weird child, but I remember watching like birthing shows and watching water births and just seeing just incredible, like so beautiful, so powerful of the woman. Like a lot of times the women will deliver the baby by themselves almost. So I had always envisioned that for my delivery. And I was in the tub basically the entire time. It was the most comforting for me physically through every contraction. It was still incredibly hard, but I will say that I really felt like the warm water helped ease a little bit of it. And it was just, I don't know, it was just the most comfortable for me. I did try a few different positions for, when I was going throughout my contractions, whether it was laying on the bed or being on the birthing ball or being in the shower or being on the toilet. Like, you kind of just go throughout a million different things, like whatever your body is feeling at that time.
You're doing it. Like, that's what you're doing. Like, anything to make herself somewhat comfortable.
Yeah.
But there was no finding that, so she was just constantly switching.
Switching positions. Moving. I think that's the biggest thing about being in the water, was that I was able to move throughout the contraction. So whether it was just like a little sway or, like just trying different positions within the water. It was just, I think being able to move was the most helpful for me throughout my contractions, because I know for a couple of them, like after they checked me on the bed and then I would have a contraction, it was the worst. It was honestly like the worst. So I just did not want to be there. I wanted to be in the water as much as possible. So going pretty much to the point of, they had checked me a couple of different times. I had went from 3 to geez, she's trying to look at the camera. 3 to 4 centimeters. They checked me again when I was at 5, I think.
You were at 6.
6, and then 8, and then I had jumped to 8. And then when I had basically got to the 8 centimeter part, like I said, the midwives were not really in there. It was just me and Jordy for the majority of it. And then once I hit about 8 centimeters, they had my midwife, her midwife assistant, and then basically like the lady that did the stuff on the computer, and 2 other midwife assistants that were present in the room. Like I said, they were just there. They were not really doing anything to intervene with my labor.
Yeah.
We were still just me and Jordy, like working through every contraction together. They were just there to support and be there for when the baby, when baby girl was coming out. So once I got to the point where I was like, all right, I think we're getting to the point where I'm getting ready to push. So when that hit, they checked me again, and I was at 10 centimeters, but my water had not broke. So I know for a lot of women, or if you have no experience with birth, you have this view of what labor is and how it goes about because of like movies or something you've watched. You imagine your water, like the woman's water breaking and then things going crazy and then you go into the hospital or whatever. So for me, that was not the case at all. My water did not break at all until I was at 10 centimeters, and when they checked me, they actually ended up breaking it because I was at that point, and when your water breaks, it takes it to that next level. So
yeah, because Mad hit some Mariah Carey, Michael Jackson notes on that one. Like,
yeah.
That's when I knew things were real. Like,
yeah,
because at first, actually, there was your main midwife, and then she had her assistant, her main assistant, and then there were other assistants. But her main assistant checked her to see if her water had broken, and she was like,
thought maybe it had.
I think it did. I think it might have already broken. And then the main midwife was
no.
let me double check.
She was the experience, like, it was, my main midwife was very experienced. She's older, been doing this forever.
Yes.
And the midwife assistant was kind of almost like the student in there. So yeah, continue.
But yeah, like she went and checked, and she was like, let me just double check, let me see. And she felt up there or whatnot, and she was like, yeah, the water it hasn't broken yet, it's still here. Yeah. And she was like, we're gonna accelerate this. And she did something. I was holding on to Mad, just giving her some support. But she did something, and I'm guessing that something was break the water, and Mad was hitting high notes.
Yeah, I went to another world. Like, the whole...
Go ahead. I was...
No, I was just going to say, like, I feel like I did so well throughout the entire labor. Like, really focusing on my breathing. Because I'm going to be real with y'all, it is a total mental game. Like, obviously, physically, you are going through it, but mentally... it takes you to a spiritual place, and if you're not at that spiritual place, you're probably in so much pain you cannot imagine. So I really am thankful that for all of every meditation I've ever done in my life, I feel like every prayer, like I feel like it really came to work during those contractions. But yes, once my water broke, I was entering a different galaxy. Yeah. And we had a video done. We did a little video on my iPad of just, those I think it was like the last hour and a half of labor. And I went back and looked at it today, and I had been pushing for an hour before she got there. So I had pushed a little bit, and then they broke my water, and then it was about an hour until she came. So I know that's like one common question is, you know, how long were you actually pushing for? It did not feel that long. It felt like forever, but also really, really fast at the same time because I was not getting any breaks
You're
between.
You're in the twilight zone at
Yeah.
that point. You're
Yeah,
like
100%.
even for like me, like obviously I told her this, like physically I know nothing like compared to what you went through, but like just being there and like from driving there to staying up the whole time and just like
Whole night, yeah.
the whole night and just playing music and grabbing
Yeah.
her and helping her out of the water and swaying with her when she's standing up or bringing her food or just like all that stuff. It's like exhaustion wasn't even an option, and I think that's what it prepares you for, obviously.
Yeah.
Like exhaustion's not an option. It's like you just got to plan better, be more efficient, and like get
Just
it done.
do it.
Get it done. Like,
Yeah. And I was telling him, like, the thing about pregnancy and labor and delivery is the second you find out you're pregnant, there's no turning back. Like, in today's society, there's options, but if you choose to continue your pregnancy, there is no turning back. And that's exactly what labor is. Because once you're in it, you're in it. Every contraction is going to come, whether you want it to or not. And you just have to keep going. You just have to keep going through it. And I think that's, you know, where you find the ultimate strength of a woman is just through that process. So once we hit that mark, my water broke. I was having insane contractions. I was still in the water at that point and had done probably, I don't know, like 7 maybe contractions in the water, tried to push a little bit in the water, but I know, Nugget.
She might be ready to make her grand entrance.
Yeah. We'll be hurrying. Okay. So anyways, I had probably done like 7 contractions in the water, and then I just got to the point where I was like, all right, I need to try something different. I'm going to get out. I got out, had a couple contractions, went to the shower for like 2, sat on the toilet for like 3 or 4. I know, Mama. Yes.
She's hungry.
She is. Yep. All right, we're going to hurry this up. We might have to end up doing another one to answer the questions maybe a little bit later. But, oh yeah, just smacking her lips.
Smacking them lips,
yeah. Yes. Okay, so I had done a couple of different positions. I know one of the main questions was what position did I actually end up delivering in? And I had actually, like I said, I had gotten out of the water, went into the shower, went to the toilet, tried a couple of different things, and I was just like, nothing is comfortable at that point, of course. But I really was at the point of like, okay, I'm just gonna try anything. So I went to the bed and I laid on my side, and that's when I really, really felt those urges to push. And at the birthing center, one of the main differences is they are just so about you listening to yourself and trusting your body and trusting that your body knows exactly what to do and when to do it. So there is no pressure from the midwives to do anything really other than trust yourself and push when your body tells you to push. So that's just what they kept telling me. I laid on the bed, laid on my side and pushed for probably a good 20-30 minutes, and it was the craziest thing I have ever experienced to actually push her out. But it was incredible because I had gotten to the point where, you know, she was coming down and her little head started to pop out, and they said she has so much hair. And
she does.
She sure does.
You can't see it with the little bow right now.
Yeah.
And because she's throwing a fit, because she's hungry, but you'll see it.
Yes. But they said she has so much hair, Mama, like keep going, you got this. Yes.
Ooh.
Yep. Finally got her head out. I was able to see her entire head, just black hair is all I saw. And then after that, I was like, all right, yeah, I got this. She came out, put her on my chest instantly, and she started crying. It was just the most beautiful thing I have ever experienced. And I know for Jordy, it was the same. So, right, y'all. I think we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Let's give them a. So they let the world see how you're acting. She's trying to bite my arm right now, like it's a nipple. It's not. That's a bicep, shorty. That's a bicep. Anyways, we out.
Welcome to the first week. So we will have to do another live to answer all of the questions, but I think that was a pretty good rundown of the labor and delivery. But we love you guys. We are so thankful for all of the love and support and just kind messages and comments, all of the things for our growing family, because y'all know that this is, where we at as far as, our business and everything. So sharing our story is important to us, and we know that y'all love to hear it. So let us know any further questions that you have, and we'll do another live. I don't know whether it'll happen tonight, but we will definitely do another live this week. But we love y'all. Thank you. And we will be back again. So, all right, peace out, y'all.